Yeah, and black women right now are saying they want to be protected,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really are looking to black men to provide that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Why is that a topic though? Have black men not always protected black women? Until I mean, I'm asking though.
Okay.
Back to everybody.
All right. Welcome to Real Nonsense. I am one of your hosts, JC,
Jay Clark.
and we have our first guest actually on the podcast.
First ever.
We have. You can introduce yourself. Starting.
Amanda Phillips.
Okay. Oh.
So humble.
All right.
So humble.
Man of Phillips.
right.
Okay, and
I'm Dr. D.
Dr. D. I was definitely hoping that you was gonna be like, I'm Dr. So and so, because she is a real doctor,
Yeah, we are.
like not just a plain doctor. Like she got her whole degree and everything. She went to school.
Her whole, not the half degree.
Right, her whole degree.
You
Like
like
the whole thing.
psychological doctor or like medical?
PhD.
We
Skirt.
straighten up.
Nah, we good. We chilling.
Straighten
Well,
up.
anywho, we just having a conversation. We've had previous episodes about, where topics come up about not just black love, because that's what we was talking about. But
Yeah,
just
and
mental health.
It was stuff too like we couldn't really get into without a woman's perspective, because then it would have just sound biased anyway,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't have been productive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
True.
thank y'all for
Yeah.
coming though.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
with that, I mean, we were just kind of talking off air about what was the question that you said that we can't seem to communicate properly or something along those lines.
Oh, you talking about? I said a successful young black man and a successful young black woman seem to be like super, super far apart today. And like our ideology, what we want in a relationship, what we think is right, what shouldn't be, So it just seemed like we need to mend that gap somehow, some kind of way,
What do you think is off? Or like the differences?
I think everybody just want to be right. And we're all influenced. Everybody has their own individual influences. And then we often just self-serve those, beliefs and get confirmation bias over and over and over again. And we get so entrenched in that we're not even open to other ideas. So if we all doing that and we all hungry right now. All young black people are hungry in some way right now. So we all after something. So it's hard to kind of break that and match to somebody else and what they got going on. We all moving 100 miles an hour in one direction. It's hard to, see eye to eye. In my opinion, at least. That's the way I see it.
What y'all think?
What do you think?
Well, honestly, I think it's more than anything. I think it's more spiritual than anything else.
That's a good point.
Because I think we have kind of gone away from the biblical principles of what a marriage is supposed to be. Because of the culture and the society that we live in today, where, because I wouldn't say like, not even like women's rights or anything, but just the almost like one up, like we are. I don't want to say it's equal, because it's not that men are better than women, but men are called to lead. And so right now you have at least in the United States, I don't know about other cultures because I'm not in other cultures, but in the United States you have men, black men specifically, that have been destroyed and kind of suppressed in every way possible. And we see the rise of black women right now. And so where black women are saying, y'all should have got this a long time ago. And like, it's just really, it's been kind of like a trickling kind of effect of different things with slavery, civil rights movement. And then where we are now, where we are at like the, what's the word? Sorry, I got like 30 people.
Climax, cusp.
No, we
That's not like the head or something. Like we finna. That's everybody feel like something about to happen or something.
Yeah.
Like, something
Yeah.
about to happen.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and it's just
Hopefully it's for the better.
yeah,
Whatever.
it's and it constantly feels like a battle of this power struggle
It is.
between women and men,
Mm-hmm.
where women are saying we need to be heard, and men are saying we need to lead.
Yeah. And black women right now are saying they want to be protected,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really are looking to black men to provide that.
Mm-hmm.
But-
Why is that a topic though? Have black men not always protected black women? until I mean, I'm asking though. Until someone said otherwise, black men have always protected black women.
Have they though? Because there's a lot of single parent homes, right?
There are.
And they're single fathers, so I'm not taking that away.
There are.
But there's a lot of abuse that have been done,
Mhm.
you know, and a lot of power, you know, issues that come from black men being the perpetrators
Mhm.
to black women. So do those little girls feel protected?
I mean, okay, so with I can speak to certain custody battles and fatherless homes and stuff like that. From my echo chamber, what I've seen personally
Sure.
is
He likes that word.
what right. I
Echo
use it all the
cha-
time.
echo chamber.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Chamber.
Yeah. No, like from what I've seen personally and cousins, friends, is the typical: you get a girl pregnant, she has a baby, they break up, and so now it's a fight to I want to see my kids now, and it's no, you didn't pay your child support this month,
Correct.
or you didn't do such and such. You're not coming at me correctly about seeing the children. So, and some women even have this approach of you didn't fight hard enough to see your kids, which is like, why do I have to fight?
Should I be able to ask?
Right? Why should I have to fight? Because I've seen personally family members go to court, everything. Baby mama move away out of the state.
Yeah, absolutely.
And seeing like it's interesting to watch because now you can look at other situations and be like, that's how this got to that point. Because like I have someone that I know that they had a custody battle with the mother of their child. They actually won the custody battle, but because of the court system and they don't really help black men out at all. There was like he got custody of the child and the mother had moved to a different state and he couldn't find where they were. So it was just like, okay, so who gonna help me get my baby back?
He lived in Illinois.
Mhm.
Yeah. Illinois is
Who gonna help me get my baby back?
Illinois is anti-dad, anti-black dad,
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
anti-black dad. at
Yeah,
that.
and so
Are you a
like
father?
I am of a 3-year-old, beautiful daughter, Kenny,
Hey.
Kenny May. Shout out my baby.
But I watched the battle go on, and he had won the custody battle and never got custody of the child. So now, fast forward, here we are, maybe 6-7 years later, and he feels weird, awkward because he didn't know in that time. He didn't know what to do. He had done everything he could, and was just like, I don't even feel comfortable really seeing my baby because she gonna look at me and say that I gave up on her.
Yeah.
Even though I was fighting as hard as I could and I was doing everything to my knowledge to get my baby back, but I can't even like have a relationship with her now because now the mom came back to town and like child's here, so he's within 20-30 minutes of her where he can go see her and all of that. But it's like I can see the breakdown, and I watched the breakdown that he had of I guess I can't have a relationship.
The issue comes into play that when you have children outside of marriage, the dynamic and or let's say divorce and or separation, because things happen, right? The dynamic and structure for family is now torn. So now you have to recreate what family looks like without a father and a mother in the home working together as a team. And that can be difficult when we talk about the theme of protection, because the husband is supposed to protect the wife and the children. But now that wife is no longer a wife. She's only the mother
Baby mamas
of the child.
Baby mamas ain't wives though.
They are not.
Not all
but
baby
they
mamas.
should. They
is
should
wives.
be.
supposed to be.
They're supposed to be.
They are of that, but not to that man. They can.
I know.
They
You're
don't
saying if they're
necessarily-
separated or divorced or not together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't know the final. We may know where we at now, but we don't know the end. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So just because that's where, I don't want to use that word. That's where
Yeah.
they get confused, is that they get so attached to the previous, they forget about their future. Like
Yeah.
they consider that whatever's in their past is what they're supposed to have, but you gotta realize what God has for you is greater, like so much greater. It don't matter what you've been through. Like there's
Yeah.
still a forward.
But it also changes so quickly too, right? Because you're like with this person and you're in love and you're thinking you see a future with them, and then you have this kid that y'all both are, you know, like maybe it was expected, maybe it wasn't, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden things change, right? So then you have to like quickly grasp, like, okay, what's next?
Right.
That's easier for a man than a woman. Much.
Yeah,
But-
we were
but-
never made or created to have to do that. So now we got to separate the father of our children from our mate. So therein lies the difficulty that I have to unattach from you as being my protector.
Yeah.
My protection for now. You just take care of my seed, like you just take care of what came out my womb.
Yeah.
It is so unnatural.
But would you think a man would
That's good. I
have
ain't never
difficulty
thought
making that decision, or do you think that decision would be easy?
What'd you say?
Do you think that decision to leave would be difficult or easy for a man?
The mother of his children.
I think it
Yeah.
depends on the guy, right? Like I'm even talking to a client now who's in that type of situation. And I think it really depends on the guy. Like the guy may want to do his own thing, or he wasn't ready for the child, or he's no longer in love with this girl. So it's like, you know, there's could be multiple factors.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not as easy as we may think it is,
Yeah.
but it's definitely unexpected.
I think it's a no. I know, and I'm just being straight up, I know so many men that are with the mothers of their children and they are not in love with them. They have cheated. They do cheat. They even
That's the
marry them and
thing. That's the
anticipate
thing.
cheating
That's the
because
thing.
they are not. But the same issue y'all have is the same one we have, because you feel a natural obligation to the woman
That's the
because
thing.
you
And
had
you're
a
gonna
child
serve.
with her.
You're gonna serve the woman. You're gonna serve the kid and forget about self. It's not that the man is being selfish and leaving. It's that he's taking control of his life because he was selfless all these years and it got him nowhere. He's still not happy. He's still.
But
But
why
see,
now?
this
Struggling
is
mentally.
and this
Why
and
you
this,
wanna be- why
but
you wanna-
that's
What changed
where
now?
I
Why
say
now?
it's more spiritual.
He not fooled.
It's more spirit. It's more of a
Not
spiritual thing than it is
I agree with that.
natural.
Yeah.
Because of the family dynamic that God established biblically. We try to do it our own way, and we try to break away from it, and we think that it's gonna work. And then we have all of these problems that we see now in our community, in our society, in our friends, and our family. And we ask, how did it get here? How did it get here? It's because you went away from the original plan
Yeah.
that God had ordained and established in the Bible. Because it talks about like I know. Come on in, y'all. You good? Come on. All right, we ain't our podcast is they good. We shut up.
man. I like that shirt you got on, Brody. Hey, we there.
So what we did.
Yes, that was a heavy hug. That's all
know,
I needed. I got recharged. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay.
I was gonna say something
Don't
crazy
eat my
too.
food. You eat it. Oh, I'm sorry. We
I was gonna
live.
say something crazy.
You still got it in your head?
I'm out the camera.
I'm gonna keep all this in there too. All right. What y'all? She.
For the gram.
What do the Bible necessarily say about?
Okay, so-
about marriage?
That was a
So-
good point. That was a good
what's
point.
So
is it
what?
the Ten Commandments?
What
God.
marriage
This is
is? What marriage is its covenant, and its commitment to another spouse. So it's often, of course, equated to, which is why married couples and men that are married, women that are married, get more favor from God because they need it more. So,
Do you hear me?
so
No, they do.
like essentially, like what it is it's a covenant with God, and how I look at it is, I look at the covenant that God made with man, in that I will never leave you nor forsake you, no matter how many times you mess up, slip up, fall, and make a mistake, whatever happens, we always receive love, grace, and mercy and forgiveness from God. Mm-hmm. So in that same way, we need to turn it and look at our spouses the same exact way. Because with that honestly, in my relationship,
pre or post covenant.
What do you mean? What's post covenant?
After the covenant, are you speaking?
What's the covenant?
Like during marriage?
The certificate.
Sex is covenant.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You like?
I'm saying all that you just said. Are you speaking of? That's how the relationship should look after marriage or before marriage?
Oh, you meaning
After.
like engagement and courtship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
after.
Okay. I'm just
after.
clarity.
So what happens is we often step into marriage
before the marriage.
Before
the marriage
before the
starts.
covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Before the actual covenant happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we get confused on why is all of this happening? Why am I? Thank you. Why is all of this happening? Why are these repercussions and consequences happening to me? Like, why is the things so confusing? It's because you went against the original plan of what God ordained as covenant, marriage, family, all of that stuff.
Right.
And so, like, until, honestly, I feel like I'm preaching all the time. But until we get back there.
Might be your calling, brother.
Whatever. Until we get back there, it's going to continue to be chaos. And it's going to continue to be confusion and all of that stuff. Because men, honestly, and I can't say all of them because we like to generalize and say men aren't in their rightful place. But you do have some men like me. I would like to believe. I'm not perfect, but I would like to believe that I'm in my rightful place. And so you have other men.
I think any place I'm in is my rightful place. I don't question God. I don't question where I am. You know, I know there's a lesson and a blessing in every situation.
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
I just can't look at it that way. Even my situation. I can't look at it in a negative way. Because if I did, it would serve me in a negative way. I just choose not to.
Perception.
But that's more so speaks to God's faithfulness to us.
And also you're also focusing on the outcome of that, right? Like I think you're addressing like more of like a bigger spiritual issue just overall and then like the problems from a broken world, right?
Yeah.
But then now it's like how do we deal with each other when we're in those situations, right? How do we communicate? How do we love each other? How do we protect each other?
That's the hard part. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was going to answer how we do it.
We got to figure that out. We got no plan.
We got to figure it out. I thought you was going to tell us how we need to do it. But it's still issues in the culture aside from baby mama, baby daddy stuff. It's issues in the culture regardless. Like, you know, let's be real. Everybody walking around with their chest poked out. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody that has anything, it's this huge separation of, okay, you got black folks with degrees. You got black folks with their own businesses.
Yeah.
You got black barbers. Like, then you got black people without degrees. Black people, and this is huge, like, chain of separation that, oh, I drive this car. I drive this brand. And now you cool, you this and that. Like, we need to forget about all of that. We don't own none of them brands anyway. You know what I mean? You know how I get down. We don't own none of the stuff we promote anyway. So, like, it's just a better way to go about this.
So like really seeing each other as like sister and brher,
Absolutely.
People, humans first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, I mean, a good amount of that is slight little segue because we might come back to this topic, but a lot of that has to do with mental illness in the black community that does not get addressed. I mean, it's getting now in our age and the time we live in now it's more and more consistent that we notice it and that we do something about it. But like our parents, grandparents, that was kind of something they just
therapy was
ignored.
Taboo.
Right.
Taboo.
And so like
we need to talk about that for real because I feel with black men is so taboo.
I'm in therapy.
I think
right
it's more
now.
popular right now. It's becoming trendy.
It is.
Yeah, to
But
go to
just now.
therapy.
I know, right?
Now.
Like 2
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say trendy though, because you still got to make that decision. Like people who need help and want help gonna go get help. If you don't want help, you ain't
What had to drive you to go get? What made you want to go get help? I think I experienced this even like in dating. Like you can't change anybody, right? But it is so frustrating for me as a woman when a man will like conform to his ways of how he deals with himself, even if you offer him a resource or a hand that may be helpful for his growth. And so what is it that as I know, because I think it's easier for women, but what is it as a man that, what do you need or what happens inside of you that says, I need to get my act together?
It's a choice. It's a personal decision. Every man is going to move by his own decision at the end of the day.
And
he has to be internally motivated. It ain't going to be, it's rare, it's rare for a man to just let the world influence him. He going to create his own world inside of him for good or bad, whether that's a positive world or a negative world.
Yeah.
But that world is going to be inside him, and that's going to influence all his decisions. That's why you got bad men and good men. Like, for real. Like, men who just go down a bad path, they just feed themselves negatively all day long. Then they do negative things externally. Like,
I'll say for me, pride. And because as a man, we are, like I said, called to lead. And so when we have, I don't have any kids or anything, but when we have our children looking at us and we messing up and we slipping up and we don't have it together, but we're supposed to be leading, then that's a lot of pressure. And instead of, okay, let me stop, deal with it, we kind of, no, let's just wrap it up and keep it moving. So, like, for me, it wasn't until I got in a relationship where she didn't care that I wasn't perfect or that I had imperfections. Like, honestly, just was like, you're you. That's all I want. And when that happened, that's when I started to, okay, well, if you like it, because one of my biggest insecurities, honestly, one of my biggest insecurities is naturally my feet. My feet are very flat. They turn out. And so.
Mine too.
I don't know why to give you a high five for that.
Not really, but I got cankles sometimes.
But, like, that has always been one of my biggest insecurities. So for her to literally see it and be like, I don't see what the problem is. Like, what's like, yeah, if it's painful, then we can let me massage it. Let me do something to help you out. So once that literally, and that was, I think, maybe a month after we started dating. Then I was like, okay, yeah, I just it's got to be the one. And so once a man has once a man has a woman that will love him in spite of and continue to love him in spite of, and not always, because I think the disconnect comes when women are literally, you just trying to help them out. Like, I'm just trying to help you out, but we see it as you challenging me for power.
Well, I think what you're also pointing to is like the safety that men need to, right, to feel from their partner, right, which ties back to that earlier point. But yeah, I think that's good. I think more women need to be aware of that, because in therapy, I see it as they don't know how. It's the approach too, right? So like with Amanda saying, like, you know, I want to share this resource with you because it's affecting our relationship, right? Yeah. It's just that she has that insight to share without saying like, hey, you need help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not that it's like your problem or your issue. It's like, how do we help the relationship? And I think it's like how you do it.
And not feeling belittled throughout that process of, well, you dealing with this, so let me go such and such, because the moment that happens, shut down. I'm not telling you nothing else. I'm not, because I'm already being vulnerable with you. It's already hard for me to do that. So the moment you take what I told you, that Alfredo smell good in there. The moment you take what I told you and you turn it to try to hurt me, whether, because like we were talking about earlier, you said women, their emotions, they always fluctuate. And so because they sometimes because they sometimes respond in emotion, even though it's not that they didn't necessarily mean it, their emotion made them project it a different way than what was in their heart. And so, like, we hear that happens all the time, and then it's like, okay, I know you didn't. Like, my fiance, I know certain things she will say angrily, and she'll respond angrily. But then I know she didn't really mean that, because I know her heart. I know her intent. And so, like,
tripping.
Right. I know that sometimes just be like, okay, you just tripping. we'll revisit this conversation tomorrow. So
Good one, right?
so
Sorry.
like I see that happening, and it's unfortunate, because the black woman, I feel like, is almost the first and the last resort of black men, because the world turns us away. Whereas you all can come together and do things like black women, as long as they got each other, they good.
Yeah.
Black men don't do that as much. And not to say it doesn't happen, but it definitely happens more commonly, more common than black men.
I guess like I don't feel black women are good by alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen and experienced brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like black men that are my brothers and that are my friends, and I need their take, their perception, their protection. That's another thing. Like a good black man doesn't just protect his wife, his woman, and his children. He's looking out for, and not even responsible for, because that's something different. But he's looking out for the safety and or the protection of his community and the women at large. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. Like I only just had to disagree with that because I'm like we're good, but we're not great. We're good, but we're not as effective as we could be when we link with our brother in Christ, our husband, or even, a great coworker that's a male, or a great friend that's a male, or a great business partner that's a male, because that concept, it complements, and it's God. Like that together is God.
Functionalities, right? Of each person.
Okay. You got anything? Okay, one question, and it may have to be our last question because this is probably going to open a whole can of something. What do you think it is? Because I see, and it could be just because we're in, like I said, in the community and in the culture of black Americans. What do you think it is that separates black men and black women that does not separate any other ethnicity or culture group in America?
You're going to have to restate the question because I wasn't in text.
That's very deep.
That's a deep one.
So what do you, because I see a battle. It's a battle that I don't see in other ethnicities.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that separates the battle that black women have that other ethnicities, Jewish, Muslim, Hispanic, that they don't necessarily deal with?
Crabs in a barrel, man. We always at competition with each other, and that carries over to relationships. You got husbands and wives competing with each other, brothers and sisters competing with each other, friends competing with each other. You competing with the dude across the street on the block. Like we in competition as soon as we step out the womb, but we was born in this environment. Like we was born in a survival's environment as black people in this country. So that's just how it is. We was born to survive. So anytime we face with opposition, we want to defeat that opposition. And some people are in opposition in a relationship and don't even realize it. And they butting heads every day. You just trying to, y'all in arguments just getting louder and louder and louder. Y'all at competition. Like, it's not healthy.
Yeah, and I think it points back to what you were saying earlier about just how slavery just tore up the whole black family, you know? And so now everybody's just trying to fend for themselves and, I'm doing my thing over here. And, I just feel like that is like the pinpoint of all of our issues.
That's what I was getting at with protection too earlier. Like, that's what I was getting at when I said, when did black men not protect black women? Here, we never really had the opportunity to protect black women. Yeah. Like, it's instilled in a lot of black men that the white men are still the superior. So they're afraid to even protect a black woman in a situation where a white cop or a white whoever is disrespecting a black woman in public. That inferior to this point black man might be afraid to say something because he's afraid of the white man.
Like, now I'm dead. Now you shoot me and I'm dead.
He's scared. He's so scared of the white man that he can't even protect the black woman. So it's so much deeper. Like,
Jesus.
It's so much deeper. Black women expect certain things of black men, but you gotta realize, like, our wives and kids were taken from us, bro, and taken to the room. We couldn't do nothing. Like, this is instilled in our blood, so it's hard to
Yeah, I feel like that's true. And like we're hitting on the past and what happened then.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, what do we do about that now?
Absolutely.
Right? Like how can we come together and support each other? You know, and I feel like is what we were saying earlier is like the both and like black women need to be seen and also defining protection too. Like how everybody defines that so differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So figuring that out for each individual couple and family, you know, to know like what can be done.
Okay, so make this a little personal. You two, as black women, how do you feel you should be more protected by the black man?
That's deep.
Like, honest, because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
always wondered, like, when black women say, I don't feel protected, okay, so tell me,
That's what Facebook.
Where
that's
is
what
it?
Facebook said.
Mm-hmm.
Call
no,
that.
like, honestly,
What
like,
Facebook
where
said.
is, that's an honest question.
Okay.
Like, where do you feel that you aren't protected?
Okay, so for me, it's like I be taking the trains and the you
Mhm.
know stuff a lot,
Bus.
and I'll see like dudes come up to me, like black men that
Mhm.
look like they could be my father or my uncle,
Mhm.
come up to me and like be talking out the side of their neck type stuff, you know?
Right. Mhm.
And it's like, how is that protecting me, right? Like,
Okay.
don't you want to see? I could be your child, like I could be your child, I could be your
Mhm.
niece, I could be anybody. Don't you want to see like better in
Mm.
that regard, you know?
Mhm.
So stuff like that, it's like you just be trying to handle your business, or you just trying to go throughout your day, and the black men or man will be the one to discourage that.
Mm.
So that's
Okay.
very specific for
Okay.
in my experience.
I am mute right now. I need
So,
like 2 minutes.
What is it? Is he coming at you in a harassment type?
Yeah,
Okay.
harassment, like
And
not
that's
inappropriate.
Yeah,
Man.
that speaks to mental health, poverty,
Yes.
a lot of things.
Yes.
Honestly.
But it also could be our age people too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just
Are
some other
these
stuff.
okay? Let's get deeper into it. Right. These are just random black men, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Mhm.
So, are these the men that we judge our culture off of? Like, are these the standard of black men, or are these just random men?
I think it depends on who you talking
These
to.
are our major.
Right? They're a
these
part
are
of our
normal
culture.
experiences.
Yeah. But they're also a part of our culture. Like
Because on the other side,
Do you?
like when we hang out, you all demand it, and we, what's the word?
demand what?
Like when y'all walking out to y'all cars, when y'all leaving, who coming with me this time?
Yeah.
So we kind of make sure. No, let me make sure you get here safe, because I heard, like I've heard and imagined what it's like to be a woman living by yourself in a big city.
Yeah.
Just like you have to think about things differently than I do. I can go in my house at 2-3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
not even have to be watching my back, because I'm 6'1", 230 pounds. So and nobody, like, you can try something, but you're gonna need a few of y'all.
Right.
So, like, for a woman that's smaller, that is not able to protect herself as well as I am, it's a little different. Like, just living everyday life where I can freely do things, women really can't. Not that they can't, they are a little more fearful and more cautious about certain things. Of just living, literally going to the store, going to the
I
gas
think it
station.
depends on the woman, man.
Yeah,
I know
I
some
agree.
strong women. I know some women who walk
And
around.
and even sometimes that'd just be a front. And
It'd be a front for us too. Bro, it'd be a front. Look, man,
You're not scared of nothing.
it's a front.
It's not that I'm
for
not scared of
everybody.
nothing, but because I've been in situations where my natural instinct is to protect first,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't even think, I just do it.
That's because you've been nurtured.
I was about to say we
And
all
to-
represent in different family structures.
Yeah.
and- yeah.
To say it's not real is to say fear is not real. Fear is real.
Yeah,
it's
fear
just how
is
you
real.
respond to it. It's
Right.
gonna exist, but if you can
Sure.
remain poised and go about your business, like
Mm-hmm.
that's not a bad thing.
But back to I because so you said
Yeah, that
Just-
doesn't.
and-
That just doesn't feel protecting ish.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm looking to that black man specifically to protect me, but it's like I go off and you see like a bunch of different cultures and ethnicities, like they look out for each other. You know,
They
and
do.
that's not always the case for us. So I can't look to this man on the bus like
you can't
as,
expect
like-
it to be always though.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not
That's what I was
always.
getting at.
I
This
agree.
is this is just a random joke.
what if he trying to
It's
holler at
random-
you though?
It's
No, but
random
it's
Joes
not
in
like
every
that. You know
orientation.
the difference
Yeah,
between someone
true,
being
true.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
versus
True.
like trying to talk to you.
Do you feel do you as black women feel more protected around other races than black men? You feel more protected around a
You
group
getting
of
in
white
there.
men than a group of
Not
black
white.
men.
Well, I mean, everybody black, but
That's what I'm. Don't let the media confuse y'all. Don't let the media confuse y'all that white men or Asian men or whoever men are gonna protect
Care
y'all
more
better
about
than
you.
we can.
Yeah.
If you in a room with 10 white men and 10 black men, I guarantee you will feel more safe with us. If you're in a room with
Absolutely.
one black man or one white man, I guarantee you, a random stranger, like,
It depends though.
don't let the media confuse you. We
Yeah.
not bad people.
I just think it depends on the woman's experience.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
all she could have known is black men taking advantage of her and not being safe, and that's her perspective.
She should get a new one. She should get to know
That's
more
not
people.
always available. So like
Yeah.
that's not always
Well.
available. So I grew up in a household where my father was not there. My father is also physically abusive and was to my mother and also was to me. So I experienced at the hands of a man who's 6'5" and 250 pounds what I experienced that once. What my mom experienced for years before she made a decision to walk away from that. My brother was in prison for 20 years for a crime that he did not commit. My other brother was trying to keep his life in the middle of the hood, and he got out, and now he's, living in another city, in another state. And my sister, same experience. And even though they came from, my parents were, that was from their first marriage, my siblings were from that first marriage, I didn't see strong black male leadership until later on in my life. I will probably say with my second relationship, which is what me and Dee have talked about, was strong leadership. And even with his deficits, the love was so strong, you know what I'm saying, that I'm like, okay, wow, like this is safe, this is nurturing, this is amazing. But I didn't really get that until 28, 9, 30. That relationship, of course, that relationship didn't work. And like I told, y'all know Chuck, that's our friend, family. We're a part of a group of people that work out. And the men there, that was the first time that I actually experienced what I've heard with healthy, black males and men, which is we protect the women that are in our village. We're accountable to one another about how we treat our women. We are talking to each other about, we don't let stuff slide. Like, you're
Yes.
initiating conversation with our sister that's a part of the community, or bro, hey, we meeting a new female that's going to be a part of our clique. Let me have a conversation with you, because men understand what men understand that women can never have a conversation with y'all about. So we're talking about that type of community. And when I experience black men, is they don't talk about stuff. They don't keep each other accountable. I've dated men that have been best friends with guys that I know, and they don't even know what's happened in our relationship. It ain't been a conversation. And this is not all of them, but I will say it is rare to meet a well-balanced, healthy black man.
It's true.
And so I'm just saying that from my own experience. Now I know it's possible. Now I have expectations and standards set. Now I see that I don't have to settle because that option is actually out there for me. In connection to what even she said that she's experienced, I'm 5'11". Okay, and I walk down 53rd and Hyde Park all the time. I've been followed to my house. I've been stalked.
Exactly.
There have been people that have with on motorcycles going 70 miles per hour, going to pull up on the sidewalk. The audacity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't have a weapon with me, or or even you were walking up the street with that dress, you know what you were expecting. Excuse me?
To be your own kind.
I'm going to Target. I just want to wash some clothes, so I may have on my little shirt because I'm trying to get some bleach. You feel me? So I'm not really thinking about stuff like I shouldn't have to change what I'm wearing to protect myself from your lust. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the type of world that we live in. I'm always trying to, I can't be out of the dark. This is like, it's crazy. And so I've experienced the healthy black man. But I'm also saying to y'all, we don't think that it's not possible. We don't hate y'all and nothing like that. But we're saying it's rare. And when we do identify it and see it, we praise it. we affirm it, we support it, and we love it. But if it's not, we not about to be a part of that.
So
I hear that.
Definitely, and I agree 100% with everything you said. There is a side of it that, and I've felt like this consistently, that not consistently, but I felt like this a few times, that I think a lot of times black women expect black men to be perfect and flawless, and when we have flaws, then it's, I didn't come to heal you. I didn't come to do such. I'm not supposed to do this.
To have it figured
You
out.
supposed to have it figured out. You supposed So when they see a flaw, then it's like,
oh my God,
you not good enough for me, and then they move on to the next.
You've experienced that.
And I see it throughout doing couples therapy.
Yeah.
So it's very true.
Yeah. So that is something that I'm just like,
they want to change. They want to change a black man and tell him who he's supposed to be.
Where I kind of see it is like with me and my fiance, like we help each other grow. We help each other learn. Because we both have flaws. We both are everybody on this earth is imperfect. So a lot of times I see like because women have this like checklist of stuff that he needs to have this. Not needs to have this, but these things should be in order before you approach me.
Yeah. And
if it's not, you're not on my level. And so there's the disconnect there of, man, it's like, I just go get me a white woman, to be honest. Because she don't got that same checklist.
What do you determine as a flaw? Are we talking character? Are we talking status?
Both. And physical.
Both.
I know y'all ain't talking about no
Status,
physical flaws because y'all be, I'm sorry.
It's your favorite thing because
y'all want to we talked about this all the time.
No.
High standards.
Hold on. Let's address this. Black men.
Okay, I'll let you lead.
Black men love black women's bodies. The media told y'all otherwise. Black men love black women's bodies. Always
the
have,
black
always
women we
will.
see right now have BBLs.
Because they're influenced by the media. This started with Nicki Minaj. This started with all
majority
that.
of them are single.
Look at movies 10 years. Facts.
The majority of them that have all of that work
Ain't nobody
single.
ain't no married woman getting a BBL. For what?
That's true.
She already chose.
Yeah.
Black men love black women's bodies until the media told y'all otherwise. That's a fact. We don't want no BBL. We don't want that.
We don't want no BBL.
They
We
gonna be
We don't want
60
no
years
BBL.
old and single and mad as
And
hell.
that's also for like a particular industry
That is
too.
That's true.
So,
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Nikki got
Yeah.
y'all twisted. B.
I mean, I went to the gym. Like 8 out of 10 women had, a BBL, and so one girl had asked me, like,
get a man.
"Oh, girl, you look good." And before she even said out her mouth, I said, "Baby, this fupa is real, and ain't nothing getting sucked. You feels me?
You know,
We all real up in here. I believe in the gym and the meal plan. Okay, when I feel like it, I'ma do it, and when I don't feel like it, I ain't gonna do it. So I don't know, but it's. I'm afraid. I'm scared. Like you're raising a daughter. And man, like when we was growing up, black women, like even 7th, 8th grade, and I know, y'all was young on me. We all know what we were seeing, but you had the thickums, you had the hips, you had, the woman with the breasts, and you had the slim thicks, you had the athletes. It was just all variety and it was all gorgeous. But now everybody looks the same. It's
We
like
don't like
scary.
that. You can survey 100,000 black men. We don't like the movement. We're not with it. Like
But do you not think some of your standards are hard to
Absolutely not. I can speak for a lot of black men. We love black women's bodies naturally. Like there was no standard until the media said so.
Gotcha.
Until Nicki Minaj blew up. Like this started with who was like Britney Spears, the early plastic surgery, early 2000s. Then it grew. We just forget about it. Like this all happened in our lifetime. Like we seen all of this happen through the social media. We done seen so many images we forget, but
That's true.
all of this stuff started in the last 15 years. You look at movies from the early 2000s, women was not looking the way they looking today. Like they were toothpicks compared to black women too. They were a lot skinnier, a lot healthier.
Yeah.
Like just be
That's
real.
real. Yeah.
But now everybody want a BBL and it just ain't natural, bro.
And it's
not natural.
Like I said, it like allowing, because my fiance allows me to be human and not have to worry about, oh man, this not on her checklist, so I got to, okay. This not on her checklist either, so I know I can.
Did she ever discuss that checklist with you?
No, but we know it exists.
Well, okay, let's talk about that.
Come on, we know it exists.
Wait,
We know it exists.
Let's talk about that. Let me know what is your, because that's a subconscious thing. Like, I feel
Well,
like
not all of them have one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was
Not
gonna
all, but we know the women that do. Because it's almost like you go on a date, you're in an interview.
They got a checklist, but they don't know what's on it. They
Well,
just
yeah.
they got a checklist.
Well, the thing is,
it's
like,
something's
I think
missing.
some checklists are healthy though.
absolutely,
You know?
But I would rather,
Especially in
dating.
well,
Standards.
in dating, I would rather you get to know me versus me feel like I'm in an interview.
Oh, absolutely.
And you trying to see all of, okay, do you hit all of my criteria?
oh yeah.
And you're talking about-
know me,
Yeah.
know me like for who I am. Like, yeah, I'm. Because if you looking for that flawless man, you not gonna
Yeah.
find him.
That's
I
true.
can tell you that right now. He doesn't exist.
Perfect.
I feel
man.
like in date. Okay, so have you dated? Have both of you two dated women that you were familiar with? Have you ever dated someone that you didn't, were not familiar with? Meaning nobody was connected to them that you knew.
Absolutely.
You have. Okay, what about you?
I'm trying to. No.
Because then that determines like how you date. So, and girl, I'm not trying to take your man. So just for example, if I never knew, I like his beard though. If I never knew you, there's going to be some preliminary criteria that needs to be discussed before we go out. That's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And before I say, you know what, yeah, I want to get to know you more. So if I talk to you on the phone and you worship Satan, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So it's not interviewish, but I will have to be like, hey, you know, can I ask you a few questions before we go
I get
to
what
get
you're
a
saying.
burger?
But
Try to be nice
see,
as possible, you know?
I see.
Versus
women-
if I already knew you and we, dude, you know, play at the church that you went to last night. Oh, you know him? Yeah. So tell me a little bit about him.
Well, if that dude that play at the church don't look all the way spick and span, don't seem all the way spick and span. I can't tell you how many friends female friends I've had the conversation with. I know you got it. At least one or two dudes that hit you in your DMs recently that you know, like you maybe grew up with them or you work with, go to school with, something. It happens. I know it happens for almost all women. And so what happens is, it's like
You saying she got options?
she got options.
She got options.
So she tries to choose the best option that she has.
Yeah.
And so where
Y'all got
I
options
was just about to
too.
say the same with guys.
yeah
More options than us.
Y'all process be the same too.
yeah, but I've told y'all before, like I know there are a lot more.
Please.
Like for every
Yes.
woman,
Yes.
for every one man, there's like 3 or 4
Exactly.
women.
Yes.
So I already know that it
Well, how many?
It's a lot more women than men.
yeah. So I and men do have more options than women.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I've seen where women be like, oh, nobody's hitting me up, nobody's interested in me, and then you go to their Facebook and or Instagram DMs, and they got not all kind of, but they got at least 1 or 2 in there that could be prospects that you.
like 70. Like, what up, little mama? Excuse me,
Right.
bro.
Like I was about to say, who we talking about? 'Cause
See,
who we talking about? 'Cause
Me and Darren didn't always have that.
Right.
I just got I'm 32, y'all. So I'll say like 29. Woo. But prior to that, I felt like I was almost like hidden. Like,
Invisible.
yep, invisible. And then like, but I will also say I was knocking like a transformative stage within myself where I began to actually see my worth and
Yes.
things of that sort. And so, but also at the same time, it was like guys that I never expected that went to college with me that had been looking at me, you know, for a while was like, yo, what's good? No, you still playing. You still like I went out with a guy from college. He not even listen to this podcast, so we'll be good. But I went out with him. He was getting ready to go to USC, go to law school. He literally said to me, "You still abstinent?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man," I said, "You still playing?" He was like, "I am." I said, "So I said, why'd you ask me out?" He was like, You one of the good ones, and that's just the honest to God truth. I said, hey, listen, when you done playing, hit me up. Because we can't play together right now. We're not the same playground. You at a whole different playground. You are not even abiding by the rules of the merry-go-round.
Right. So you doing backflips on the
You
monkey bar.
intruder.
Wow.
No, we not even playing the same game. You playing tag, I'm playing kickball.
So no, it don't be like that for us. And then for some women, like sex comes with responsibility.
Yeah.
That's not the same with every
It
female.
goes back to his original thing, right? What was it designed for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
for a lot of women, you know what I'm saying, it's no judgment, but if sex don't come with responsibility for them, a man is going to jump at that, most, than to get with a woman where, God, if I have sex with her, like, I gotta actually stand up and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit more difficult because
Oh,
they don't
man,
want to
yeah.
do
They ain't
that.
ready for that.
Sex is, that's a responsibility because once that's
You just having
open,
fun.
shoot.
Yeah.
If a man willing to wait for that, he gonna stay for sure. He gonna tie that up. He
Yeah.
willing. I wouldn't even. I'm only 26, but I know if I was ever to date again, I wouldn't even get on that with a woman I knew I was trying to make a wife. Like, wouldn't even, cause you approach, you invite certain women and you invite certain women out. That's how it always, like, you don't.
That's good.
I wouldn't even approach a woman that I saw a life with in the same way I would approach a woman I saw a night with. You know what I mean? It wouldn't even be.
And you know that before you even approach
Yeah.
them.
I know that now. I'm not. I know that now. I'm 20. I'm 26.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at 22.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold. I didn't know that at 21, 18. But I know that now. So I just approach it differently,
That's good.
Based off of what you want.
based off of my experience, for one, but
Good.
also
Wise man.
based off of what I want for my future. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
Get to this house.
You gotta wrap it up
Yeah.
like BET.
I gotta rap.
That's a good talk.
Well, I mean, I think that was good.
It could be even longer.
Yeah.
That's
It,
crazy.
of course, it could be. There's so many things that we didn't even. This is everything that's going on. We did this.
Service level.
So much to unpack.
It was fun,
Might need a
though.
part two.
But
man.
thank y'all for coming for real. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, we far. Maybe we can come up there or something.
Yeah, come through.
Midway point, 167.
Country Club Hills, Markham,
Ouch.
Harvey
Well,
World,
167.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know where
yeah.
you was.
Dalton?
So it's up there
Words? It's not Dalton. It's not Dalton.
today. It's not
Not
Dalton.
Dalton.
not Dalton.
Just to be clear. Country club. It ain't Homewood.
Thank y'all for watching Real Nonsense. This has been fun. We thank our guest, Dr. I was gonna let y'all say your name.
Yes, Dr. D in the house. What's up? What's up?
And then our other guest.
You already know what it is, Amanda.
Oh, now we.
Now what you about to rap? Now what you about to rap?
And
man.
JC.
J. Clark.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
y'all, man.
Thank you.
So much J. Clark. Okay. Put your clothing brand.